God bless it. Are you kidding me? Wait a minute. Oh, there we are. No, we're live. All right. I think we're live. You would think, after 20 plus years in IT, that I'd get this. Okay, there we go. Hey, Mickey. All right, so this is the first voiceover live cast. And what we're going to do is basically I'll give you some updates on what's going on in my voiceover world. And then I'm going to narrate part of a book that I produced back in August or so. And it's called Second Sight, The Decay. And it's kind of a mystery thriller. It involves this guy, this cop, going through multiple worlds and revisiting his past. It's a pretty complicated storyline, but it's really good, and it's set up for multiple sequels, and it's written by Jack Pierce at Lotus Token. And I know they're working on at least one or two more books right now and trying to decide which is the better one to go with. So that's that. I'll get to that in a minute. Sideways? No, I'm not sideways, am I? Oh, God. Okay, wait a minute. So that's why it told me to rotate my thing. Is that better? There you go. Tell me if I'm not sideways anymore. I don't want to be sideways. Yes, you are. What? Yes, I am what? Sideways? Damn it. Okay. Hang on. Wait, perfect? Oh, is it okay now, Billy? Jeez. Thank you. I'm going to be so good at this at some point in my life. So, I don't even know if Tuesdays are going to work long term because I host my open mic on Monday nights, and I'm up running around for 4, maybe 5 hours just yapping all the time, and I can never even really narrate anything Tuesday mornings. So I may move this to Thursdays. We'll see. A little rough right now. But I have my throat coat tea with honey. So let me show you around a little bit, actually. This is my Studio Bricks booth. And let's see if the heat's on. Yeah, it is. So you can tell the difference when you get out here, how loud it all is. And so the vent's on. We actually just got a new furnace installed, so it's running pretty nice. But it's loud. And when we step back in, it's pretty quiet. So this is my workstation. Just got a brand new monitor because I'm going to finally get this laptop out of the booth. It's a 2013 model, and it's functioning fine, but the fan is starting to run more often than I can handle. And even though I have great software that kind of mitigates some of that, it's just becoming a pain. So I'm going to get this out of here. I'm going to use just one big monitor and my iPad for the manuscript. So right now, actually, I've been working on a romance and erotica books that you're not going to really know about because I'm keeping my pseudonym private for now. But that is a whole different kind of thing from what you're used to hearing me do. And I've got a few in a row now, so it's keeping me busy through February. I mean, I guess if you're really interested in hearing me talk that way, let me know, and maybe I'll help you out. I usually do have free credits for some of these books on Audible, so if you are interested in listening to anything, let me know. And like I said, I'm just going to narrate for about 20 minutes, maybe 15 or 20 minutes this time, and I think next week I'll have a better plan for it. And this is going to be Chapter 22, Welcome to Maelstrom. And we're way into the book, so there's no context for it. I just wanted to kind of give you a little narration. There's a little bit of language, so if you don't like bad words, now's your chance to get away. Storm clouds loomed overhead. The black rain came from the dark blue sky. I looked around as the tarried raindrops hit my face. I found Star face down on the ground. "You all right?" I said. No reply. I walked over and flipped her over. She wasn't breathing. "Shit," I said. I dropped to my knees and performed CPR. "Come on, don't die on me." She remained still. I kept performing CPR and put my lips against hers. She started breathing again, and she coughed, rolling to her side. She looked up at me, looking ill. "Easy now. Don't stand up too fast," I said. "What happened? Where are we?" Star asked, sitting up, holding her head. "You're going to be all right. Sit for a minute." Star looked up at me, and her mouth dropped. "That's a Ravel temple. We have to get out of here." I turned and saw a large temple with Ravel's symbol on its peak. I picked Star up and threw her over my shoulder as I ran down the street. Signs on the road read Maelstrom. I remembered this city. It was a quarantine zone that was set up after an outbreak of cannibals infested the area. That's what Chief said, anyway. It was a no-go zone that used to be guarded by the National Guard, but they abandoned the post after the 50-foot walls were erected around the city. There was no way in or out of this place. It had been sealed for over a year. We arrived at a gun shop, and I let Star down. Broken glass, empty ammo boxes, and what looked like an army drop box were scattered everywhere. The only drop box left was locked. I needed ammo for my shotgun. I had only 3 shells left. I hammered at the drop box, but to no avail. I dug around the rest of the shop and only got a handful of broken glass and a hunting knife. I drew my pistol and pointed it at the lock. "Cover your ears," I said. "Rick, no!" Star said as I shot the lock off. A loud chorus of hissing, gagging, and retching came from down the street. I knew that sound all too well. Those weren't cannibals. They were slaw. "This is going to be bad," I said, loading my shotgun. "Can you shoot?" I asked. "Yeah, but I've never fired more than a BB gun." "Well, no time like the present," I said, handing her my Beretta. The recoil on a 12-gauge was too much for a girl her size. The hissing grew louder. It sounded like a chorus of chainsaws surrounded by the loudest hornet's nest in the world. "Stay behind the counter. I'll provide covering fire. If one of them gets close, shoot it in the head and run. I'll catch up with you," I said. "But Rick—" "Get down," I said, shoving Star to the floor behind me. A slaw appeared behind her. I fired 2 shots into its chest. It fell straight back against the horde. Star crouched down and ran behind the counter. I reloaded the shotgun one-handed and fired a round into another coming toward the door. I kicked the door shut and locked it. We were surrounded by those things. It was only a matter of time before the glass gave way. They were huge, ugly bastards, emanating green light and looked nothing like I had ever seen before. These were a different breed of slaw. Another slaw came to the window, staring right at me, growling. I stumbled back. The window shattered into a million pieces all over the floor. "Fuck me," I said, firing another 3 rounds back to back. One of them fell, but I scurried back fast enough to avoid its horrid carcass. "Look, there's an office behind us. Go and see if there's a back door. If there isn't one, there are more shells. If there isn't one, see if there are more shells. We're going to be here for a while," I said. Star stalled and trembled. "Hey, go now!" I yelled. She ran toward the office door, and I shot a few more slaw as they slowly came through the window, hissing. "The door is locked!" "Shoot it!" I yelled, firing another shot. "I can't!" "Shoot the fucking thing now!" They just kept coming. Each one that I took down, it seemed to be 2 more coming to take its place. I heard a scream behind me, with 2 shots coming from Star's general direction. One of the slaw had grabbed her. It scratched and bit at her, trying to tear into her exposed flesh. "Shit! Get down!" Star ducked out of the creature's arms and ran toward the back. I pumped the shotgun and shot it in the head. I felt a clawing on my chest. It felt like knives being dug deep into me. A slaw had me pinned to the floor, biting at my chest and neck. It hissed and growled as I tried to retreat. I couldn't reach my shotgun. A crowbar laid next to me. I grabbed it and bashed the fucker's head in. "Come on, we have to go," Star said. I stumbled toward the back door, trying to dodge the bites and slashes from the horde. The slaw were so close to the door that I had to hit them in the head as I passed through. I felt one of them get its nails into my left cheek. It gave me a good scrape. Not too deep, but it hurt like hell. I yelled and butted the creature, knocking its jaw off, and shot it in the chest. Its claw marks left 3 divots straight down. Star ran out the back door, and I barricaded it with the dumpster outside. Shots came from down the road. Not rapid shots, more like slow, calculated shots. Possibly a sniper. "Run down the alleyway. Get to that gate, see if it's locked," I said. Star crouched and ran down the alley, avoiding detection through all the windows of the gun shop. She signaled me to come with her, but I waved at her, telling her to keep going. Next to the gun shop was a fireworks store. It had all kinds of fireworks, mortars, firecrackers, and Roman candles. I picked the lock and entered. I ran through the shop, grabbing mortars and firecrackers. Slaw came toward the door, and I jumped through the storefront window leading out to the next alleyway. The glass tore into my clothes and slashed me across the chest. I found a ladder leading up to the roof, but as I started to ascend, Star dropped my Beretta, and a shot rang out. A slaw horde changed direction, going toward her. I made it to the roof, set up a mortar, and fired. Bang! The mortar exploded down Main Street. Some of the creatures turned around. Others kept pursuing Star. I shot another one. Bang! More of the slaw turned, following the noise. I smelled gasoline nearby. Someone had left a can up here. Probably kids who huffed gas. I tossed the can and fired a Roman candle directly at it. A fireball rose, and the salon across the street began burning. The remainder of the horde moved toward the flames. Stupid bastards. I ran back toward Star. I looked down from the roof. She was trembling. The drop was only about 12 feet. I jumped down onto a storage pod and then climbed down to Star. "Are you okay?" I asked. "Yeah, I'm just scared. I'll be fine," she said. There were empty cars nearby. I spotted an old pickup truck at the edge of the alley. Its brown paint was chipped, and the axles were covered in rust. "Can you hotwire a truck?" I asked. Star leered at me. "Do I look like a criminal to you?" "Well, yeah." Star slapped my arm hard a few times and said, "Yes, I can, but you're an asshole." "Happy you noticed. Here's the plan. I'll go and get in the bed of the truck. You hotwire it, then floor it once I get in." "Got it," Star replied. "Good. Wait for my signal." I grabbed a piece of metal and used it as a mirror to look around the corner. None in sight, except for far down the road. I gave her the signal, and she ran to the truck. She opened the door slowly, and I jumped in the bed, lying down to reload my shotgun. Star took the lower molding off and searched for the correct wires. I could hear Slaw in the distance. Rapid gunshots rang with a group of people yelling in a foreign language. I lied praying that those bullets wouldn't come in our direction. Even from the roof of the gun shop, I couldn't see where the shots came from. The truck tried to turn over, but wouldn't. "What are you doing in there? Hurry up," I said. "I'm trying." A group of Slaw came around the corner. They hissed and growled at us. "We got company now. Get this piece of shit moving." The truck turned over as they surrounded us. I fired a point-blank shot into the crowd, and 3 fell. From behind, I heard 2 of them tearing at the door. Star kicked at them, trying to fend them off. I slammed the butt of the shotgun into one of their heads, shooting the other one. Star dropped the clutch and floored it. The force slid me back to the tailgate. She looked back at me, and I waited for her to keep going. The truck rammed into a crowd of Slaw. They splattered all over the hood. I got covered in entrails and blood. "Get up here with me," Star said. "A little busy right now," I said, shooting one of them trying to climb on the back. A large gate slowly closed ahead. A head-on collision with its tall walls and steel construction would have killed us both. Star floored the truck's shifting gears. The wind blew by what felt like 70 miles per hour at least. I held on for dear life. We escaped through the closing gates by only a few inches. Star slammed on the brakes, and I slid to the front of the truck, hitting the cab hard with my back. "Yeah, thanks for that. Felt great," I said. "Get in, Rick. We have a long way to go, and those things are able to phase through the gates," Star yelled. Star opened the door, and I stumbled inside of the truck. I grabbed the door handle and used it to pull myself up. I knew that at any moment, one of those things could swarm the car again. Star lit a cigarette and offered me one. I refused. We drove what seemed like forever. "That was Ravel's territory," she said. "No shit, Sherlock. What was your first clue?" I asked. "I'm just trying to make conversation. Where are we going?" "Take me back to Drova." I looked in the mirror. The gash on my face was not deep, but it would leave a scar for sure. The cut went from the right side of my forehead, skipped my eye, and continued down my cheek. So much for my devilish good looks. I had worse in the field, though. They went in and out. "Let's go to your apartment to regroup. I know where it is," Star said. "Oh yeah? How do you know that?" "I looked you up. I thought I might want to come by and see you sometime," Star said, winking. "Very funny." I slumped down in the seat. All I wanted was a shower and a good night's sleep. After all that's happened, that crappy bed was calling my name. Alright, that's the end of the chapter. So, obviously, you make a handful of mistakes every now and then. And usually, I'm not actually recording now, of course, but usually when I would make a mistake, oh, thanks, Lori. Yeah, I would make a mistake, and I'm working with a process called punch and roll. So when you do make a mistake, you just immediately go back and kind of re-record that part. It's better than just recording and having to fix your mistakes later. It makes the editing process a whole lot easier to do it this way. So you heard me make a few, and I just kind of rolled with it. Yeah. All right, I'll do a little bit more. Then I'll do some Q&A. I'll try to look at all these comments. I'm still having a problem with only being able to see 3 comments at a time. So I'm still looking for some help with that. I'm on an iPad Air, if that makes a difference. I don't know why Facebook is being weird. It's not like that on the desktop version. Let me do another 5 minutes or so. I feel like I'm talking fast too. I'm trying to slow down. Chapter 23, Home. I felt a significant amount of relief finally getting home. I never thought much of my shithole apartment. I was so tired that I would have slept on the concrete if it was safe. Everything that had happened recently was finally catching up with me. My body ached everywhere, and I could barely move. Star got out from the other side and helped me walk to the apartment. It was late and dark outside. Luckily, we had the cover of darkness to move the weapons. It wasn't exactly normal for someone to bring multiple guns into their apartment to stash them. If anyone saw us, they probably would have thought we were going to shoot up someplace. I fumbled for my keys, finally finding the right one, and opened the door that led to inside. If someone really wanted to break in, it wouldn't be hard to kick the door down. I sighed a deep sigh of relief after being out on the road for so long. Everything was still in place, as before. Even if someone broke in, what would they take? "Sit anywhere you want," I said, dropping my keys on the end table. Star walked in and sat down on the right end of the futon, leaned back, and stretched. She looked around the apartment, seeing all the posters on the walls, then looked back at me. "I'm gonna go take a shower. I need to get this shit off me," I said. Star smiled and said, "Okay." I closed the door behind me, turned the shower on to its hottest setting, and closed the dirty, translucent curtain. I washed my hair at least 3 times, and the slaw remains came off after I scrubbed for around 10 minutes straight. "Ow, shit," I said as I dragged the rag over my chest wound. That thing really got me good back there. I got out of the shower and looked in the mirror. The scratch went from my upper right shoulder down to my left rib. It wasn't a terribly deep cut. My face didn't look too bad either. It barely broke the skin, but it definitely left a mark. 3 thin scratches trailed down my face. The blood had dried, but I didn't have to get stitches. I hoped it wouldn't leave a scar. I shaved around the cuts and dabbed hydrogen peroxide on the wounds. Where I once had a thick brown beard was now like a 5 o'clock shadow. I tossed on a pair of jeans and a tank top. I came out to see Star fiddling with something. She hit a button, and an old voicemail I knew all too well played. "You have one new message." "Hey, Rick, buddy, guess who? It's Devin, man. Listen, I know we haven't had time to hang out that much lately, but I just wanted to say congrats on making the force, man. I know I'm 3 months late, but you know how it is. Anyways, I'm going to keep my promise and start rehab soon. Serious this time. See you soon, man. Bye." End of messages. I walked over and took the answering machine from her and shoved it to the back of the end table. "Don't touch that, please," I said. "I'm sorry. Was that a friend of yours?" I turned away and closed my eyes. That's the last thing my childhood friend Devin ever said to me. He was found murdered in a crack house a month later. Star gasped. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know." "It's fine. You can go take a shower now if you want," I said. Star walked toward the bathroom, and as she passed me, she rubbed her hand across my cheek. The bathroom door closed behind her. I sat on the futon looking up at the chipped paint on the ceiling. Some days I'd wake up with paint flakes all over me. The shower turned on, and Star sang to herself. Her voice was a very smooth and melodic soprano. She seemed happy, which made me feel better. The poor girl had been through so much. We both had in the last week. I laid the futon flat and lied down. As I dozed off, I heard Star calling me. All right, we'll stop there. Okay, so I'm gonna, see if anybody has any questions. So the rest of the day, I'm doing a live music practice session with Lori English. We're working on some songs together. Then from noon to 4, I do this kind of shift for A News in Turkey, this organization out there where they send me news scripts and I get them done pretty much right away. They're kind of random and I take care of them as quickly as I can. But I do that for about 4 hours. So that kind of eats up some time. And tonight I have an interview for my radio show, The Music Room with Rick Barr. That'll be just this evening. So I'm going to be in this booth a lot. And then I got to work on my current book as well. Try to rest my voice, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I may not be able to narrate until tomorrow. There are very subtle differences and changes in the voice that can happen. And it's kind of hard to detect when you're just talking out in the open. But they show up in the recording. I'm really dry right now, really hoarse. So if I tried to record in the middle of a chapter that I already started on, there's a stark difference. Then I guess it depends on how much of an audiophile you really are, if you really pay attention to that stuff. If you're listening on earbuds, you're probably not going to be able to tell those differences. So it's not that big a deal. All right. I think that's it. I don't have anything else to say right now. Like I said, I'm just getting this new setup done. Sunday, I'm planning on getting this laptop out of here, so I'm going to be able to put the iPad somewhere else and all that. Give me suggestions on what you'd like me to read. It doesn't have to be a book that I've done. Maybe it can be like an article out there on the web. I don't know. Just give me ideas. I want to be creative with this and keep you entertained if I can. So thanks again for watching. See you next time.